What are you looking at?
Oh, there was a message on my screen.
Okay. No, you're good. I was like, I couldn't tell which screen I'm on. So I was like, are you looking at your second screen or are you looking at a bug on the wall?
No, you're on my primary screen right now.
Nice. Well, I'm so honored. Thank you. Hello, mortals, monsters, and myth lovers alike. Welcome to the Remyth episodes. This is where we talk about ancient myths and their modern retellings outside of Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I'm your co-host, on break from harassing river guardians, Darien Smartt. Joining me is my co-host and brother, hailing from Thebes, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? Thebes is an absolute fucking shit show.
Well, it's the Big Olive, and it's got big problems.
Yeah.
So, DJ, would you like to announce what we are talking about this month?
Absolutely. If you couldn't tell from our funny references.
Yes, they're so funny.
Yeah, hilarious. We are talking about Disney's Hercules.
Finally!
I know, right? We're finally doing a Remyth episode, and we're finally talking about Disney's Hercules. I am actually very excited about it, because, God, that movie's great.
So great. After all the times we've talked about it in the podcast, it seems only fitting that this would be the very first Remyth episode. So let's dive in.
I mean, if we're going by how many things we talk about, we should be talking about like either Hades or Smite. You know, it's cool though.
When I finally play Hades, we will do the Hades Remyth episode. How does that sound?
Didn't you say you got a Switch? Just buy it on there.
Yeah, but like...
Support the guy. He's an indie developer. He's trying his best.
I mean, yes, I'd love to. Always support indie developers. I just have a podcast that I record and edit and market. So, you know, I'm a little busy. Stop going to school.
You stopped going to school?
No, I said on top of going to school.
Okay. I was worried. I'm like, really? You stopped going?
Never. Let me know. If I could just do school forever. This is not what the episode is about.
No. We're talking about Hercules.
We're talking about Hercules. And so I watched this last night on Disney Plus because it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great.
And so I would like to start by reading the description of the movie that is on the Disney Plus page, because it's a trip.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Taken from the gods as a newborn and adopted on Earth, Hercules becomes an awkward teenage pillar of strength. He discovers he has a place on Mount Olympus with his dad Zeus, if he can endure his growing pains and move from zero to a true hero. Along with Pegasus the Flying Stallion and Phil, a feisty personal trainer, Hercules is on a mission to stick it to Hades once and for all. Which, like...
I guess that is a rundown of the book. But you couldn't use the song name Zero to Hero. You had to throw in Zero to True Hero. Really?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Come on.
I also have question about the choice to mention Hades, or specifically that his plan is to stick it to Hades. Because to my knowledge,
absolutely not.
No, I don't even know.
It just so happens that Hades is trying to thwart Hercules, but
yes.
Hercules is just doing his job as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, Hades is behind it?
Hades
all
is
right,
behind
I guess.
It was Hades all along, which literally is what it's like from Hercules' perspective, because he is not aware that Hades is involved in any way, shape, or form up until quite literally the end of the movie.
Yeah, when he reveals that Meg is is a spy, you know?
Basically, yeah. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
DJ, what do you think of Disney's Hercules?
I think it's one of their best, for sure.
Okay. Do you want to do? I mean, I just read the synopsis. Do you want to do a quick 2-minute explanation of what the movie is about? Like rundown plot.
Sure, let's try this.
Okay, hold on. When I say 2 minutes, I mean 2 minutes. I'm gonna set a timer real quick.
All right.
And you got 2 minutes to explain Disney's Hercules.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, so Hades takes Hercules down because he finds out Hercules is meant to fucking destroy him, so he takes him, tries to turn immortal, but his two minions are fucking doofuses and didn't do it completely, so he retains his super strength. This leads to hijinks ensues, and he fucking just trashes an entire town on accident. And so he then sets off on an adventure after he realizes he might have ties to like the Olympians, and then his Zeus just comes up and is like, I'm your dad. And so he's like, okay, Zeus is like, you got to be a hero. So he goes off and he finds Phil and he starts training with Phil. And then he goes to Thebes, which is an absolute shithole of a town.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes fucking, sorry, Jared texted me.
This is eating into your 2 minutes.
I know.
1:15.
So he goes to fucking, he goes to Thebes, shithole of a town, after he gets like actually big and buff and like, you know, well coordinated, and he fixes all of their problems, but Hades keeps just sending it out of him, and he keeps doing it, and then like Meg comes in and like starts trying to like fuck with his mind, but only because that's Hades has her soul and is keeping it captive, but then Hercules, it gets revealed to Hercules about the ties between the two, and then Hercules gives up his super strength to Hades. Hades unleashes the Titans on Mount Olympus, and then Hercules goes to fight Hades and get Meg's soul back. And when he does, he becomes a god because he becomes a true hero at that point. And then he beats Hades and the Titans and chooses to stay immortal because he wants to be with Meg, and he solidifies his spot as a true hero.
Nice, with 24 seconds to spare. I have a couple questions.
What's up?
First of all, why is Hades working with the Titans?
Because he's just trying to take over Olympus.
But didn't he help Zeus overthrow the Titans?
Yeah. It doesn't explain, like, Hades is just like, I'm tired of, like, getting the short end of the stick. Even though it's really only him who's excluding himself. Like, Zeus is happy to see him at the start of the film. He's like, hey, brother, welcome to the party. And Hades is like, fuck you.
Also, I have another question just based on the synopsis you gave. Why did Hades have to steal Hercules from Olympus? Isn't Hercules a demigod?
No, Zeus. Well, because you wanted a synopsis. I didn't realize you wanted every fine detail. All right, fine. Hercules is actually Zeus and Hera's son. Mm-hmm. So he's a full god. So he had to take him off of Olympus to fucking try to kill him as a mortal. But then, you know, doofuses of fucking minions.
Yeah. Pain and Panic, the weird little demon imps that are in this movie, who I think I hate, actually.
Yeah.
Continuing a fine Disney tradition of being incompetent villain sidekicks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Henchmen, minions, if you will. Just the worst of them. Honestly, I would definitely rank them below the hyenas in terms of
at least
efficiency.
The hyenas actually fucking, I don't know, did something about Scar, and even then, like, they were competent hunters at times.
Yeah. I was gonna say they did succeed in the plan to kill Mufasa.
And it wasn't Scar. It wasn't the hyena's fault either. It's not that they were incompetent. Scar was just a dick and didn't realize that the lionesses would just rebel.
True. I mean, the hyenas were supposed to kill Simba, and they failed in that.
Well, he ran into a bramble patch.
Yeah, he got away, and that's totally different than the incompetent demons who are in fact incompetent. That's not who I want to talk about mostly in this movie. I do like this movie very much. I think it's fun. I think the songs are rad. I think the animation is lovely.
Stellar. Holy shit.
Here's what so you will get a lot of there can be a lot of conversation about what this movie gets, you know, wrong about Greek mythology and how it's like completely inaccurate.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to spend any time on those kind of conversations because, one, we are a podcast that celebrates the various way we retell stories. And two, the country of Greece already did that when this movie came out.
Did they? Did they fucking
Just
go uproar?
actively the government rejected this movie. And if I will quote directly, described it as a Greek newspaper denounced the film as, quote, another case of foreigners distorting our history and culture just to suit their commercial interests. So, like, I don't think anybody could hate on this movie as much as the Greeks did in the 90s.
I don't know if I'd go that far to say that. Then again, I'm not Greek, but
I'm not Greek.
There's a lot of, like, sure, they changed the story, but it's just like, did you guys really think Hades was the good guy?
Well, no, I don't think it's so much as in the distortion of the myths, because even in the Hercules myths, you can like trek through that and find a bunch of different stories and a bunch of different things that if you were trying to put it all in like an order wouldn't line up.
Yeah.
But I imagine that the objection came from the fact that the story is very, very Americanized. The way the gods behave, they all come off as like American celebrities. The whole celebrity culture around Hercules that arises in the movie as he starts like defeating monsters and becoming famous. He's got the licensing, he's got the merchandise, he's got the wealth, he's got the fame, he's got the Air Jordans, sandals, basically, the Air Hercs and stuff. So I would imagine like that is perhaps where Greece would find some justifiable reason to be pissed.
When they fix their economy, I'll listen to them.
Oh my god. So the whole point is, if you want to dunk on all the things that Hercules got wrong, there are 1,000 listicles that'll do that for you.
Yeah.
But I would like to share just a real quick story about dunking on Disney's Hercules that I have told you, DJ. I told you literally minutes after it happened, but I have not actually shared on the podcast yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I work for our listeners, I am a assistant manager at a retail space that sells a lot of pop culture goods.
Yes.
And over the holidays, we received tons of boxes going through, pulling out early morning. I pull out this lovely lavender crewneck sweater with the Muses on the front. Gorgeous. Love it. And
Muses from Hercules.
The Muses from Hercules, who, if you have not seen Hercules, are portrayed as gospel singing divas and are the best part of the movie.
No, they're so much fun. I love them.
So good. Make every song better that they're in. I think they sing every song except for Phil's song and Go the Distance. But otherwise, all the songs.
Go the Distance is my favorite song in that.
Mm-hmm. It's very
Such a
good.
fucking
I love
song.
Disney
And,
I Want songs.
The animation that they used in that scene specifically is just astounding
Sweeping.
and just fucking great. I love it so much.
Yeah. But so I pull out the sweater, and it just happens we got it in at the same time the company is doing employee appreciation. So our employee discount is for a week. Instead of 30%, it's 50% off. And I look at this thing, and out loud I say, if we have a medium of this, hold it for me. I'm going to buy it. And one of the seasonal associates looks at the shirt and is, Davis is smirking because he has heard this story before, looks at the shirt and she says, "Oh, I have so many problems with that movie, starting with those characters there."
Wow. What a bitch. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine
it? Just like watching a Disney movie and being like so like angry about how they treat the fucking mythology, you can't enjoy the fact that it's a Disney movie? Holy cow.
Right. And
insane.
And I'm definitely taken aback because it's a weirdly aggressive response to say mostly just rude, especially after the fact that I just said, "Oh, I'm going to buy this because I like it." I hate those characters. I don't care. You're 18 years old, and the first time I met you, you were being condescending to another employee because he didn't know that Ravenclaw's mascot is an eagle in the books and not a raven in the movie. Like, oh, I guess you haven't read the books in a while. And I'm like, I already hate this girl. But I'm like, the manager.
I didn't even know it was an eagle. Like, I'm not a fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of Harry Potter, right? It is not unreasonable to think, oh, even just like even if the movies didn't exist and I only knew the house names, right? Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw. The only one that I would be able to think, I don't know the mascot is Hufflepuff, and the mascot's a fucking honey badger. And I would have guessed, like, yeah, Ravenclaw, that's a fucking raven. No shit. Apparently not. I guess it's an eagle?
It's an eagle. Well, so the Ravenclaw isn't raven's claws. It's raven as in black claws, which are the claws of an eagle, basically.
That's
is what
some roundabout.
Yeah. And so
Shit.
it's... So anyway, I already know this girl is like, I don't want to deal with you. You're 18. So I'm like, I say, oh, well, I don't... I'm like, well, it's a kid's movie. And
I don't fucking care.
yeah,
about your
what I should have said was like,
opinion.
didn't ask for your opinion. What I said was, well, it's a kid's movie, and I don't really want to have Hercules brutally murder Megra in it. Oh, no. Yeah, what is... And then she says, oh, no, it's totally fine if you don't know anything about Greek mythology. And I just...
keep in mind, this is probably, we've been doing our podcast for like 2 or 3 months now. And also we've like... The reason we started this podcast, us both enjoying the shit out of Rick Riordan, so like his work so much that we do even a little research into fucking Greek mythology and still like Hercules.
Yeah. And I just look, but I'm like, oh, yeah, but I don't say anything. Because again, I'm a manager. I am going to be responsible. I'm mature. I just decide I don't need to continue to engage. My box is sorted. I'm going to go to the next one. So I walk away. this girl cannot let a subject drop. So all of a sudden she's talking about all the things that movie did wrong. And so she gets to this part where she says the most like, oh, and I think that was the most frustrating is the fact that they had Hercules kill Medusa. And I say, oh yeah, because that's Perseus' myth. And she's like, exactly. And then I say, well, but that wasn't actually Medusa in the movie.
Yeah, it was just another Gorgon.
It wasn't? No, it was Steno. Medusa appears in the Hercules TV series. Really? Yeah, my brother and I just covered it in our Greek mythology podcast. And then suddenly she shut up. So, I just wanted to tell that story because it is relevant. And also, I was very proud of myself for not responding. If you don't know anything about Greek mythology, you think, well, actually, I have a great... Like, no. But letting the universe give me a gift in which I could just dunk on this person who just consistently... managed to piss me off every time she opened her mouth.
Insane. Like, I can't fucking imagine being like, oh, well, just trying to shit on something that somebody likes. Like,
yeah.
Like, that's so fucking ridiculous. Unless it's, like, actively harming someone, I don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
Like, be happy. I don't care.
I want to talk about a couple things that I love about the Disney's Hercules movie that I feel like don't get a lot of attention, even in the movie itself.
All right. I'm into it.
1. I love that Mount Olympus is made of fucking clouds.
No, that's great. That is like one of the fucking best things. I think that shit is so fucking cool. It's a very small detail that they do, but it's fucking cool as shit.
Yep. When baby Hercules causes something to bounce around the room on Olympus, and then it like goes straight through a couple columns, but instead of shattering the column, just like dissolve apart and then reform into clouds. And then when not Poseidon, it should be Poseidon, when Zeus makes Pegasus for Hercules and makes him out of clouds. It's just really cool. And it, after that first scene, after like the christening scene, doesn't go anywhere. They don't do it again. And I'm a little bummed out. I would have liked to see more of this cloud stuff.
Yeah, it would have been super cool. But like, yeah. I get it.
Yep. While I was watching the movie, even though I don't want to complain about like, oh, the myths are this and that, I did sometimes lose my mind when they would casually say things like, well, who do you think taught Jason how to sail? Cleopatra?
Yeah.
What?
Or just in general, like I like the character Phil. Don't get me wrong, great fucking character. Should have been Chiron.
Should have been Chiron. Should have been
that
Chiron.
guy fucking trained all of the heroes that Phil brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Literally all of them.
Literally
they just
all of them.
replaced Chiron's character with Phil.
Just made him a satyr for no reason. No, is it because it's funnier? No, it is because it's funnier.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
oh, yeah, it's way funnier.
It's way funnier if it's Danny DeVito as a satyr. Like, I agree. You could have done Danny DeVito as a centaur. Centaurs are way too noble. Yeah. It had to be a satyr, and I do understand that it is a Disney movie. And so they drive me crazy. And we're like, why are we just mismatching stuff, the references? If you want to do Greek, that's cool. But then it occurred to me that, like, right, we're doing Greek, but he used Hercules for the name, which is the Roman version, because
it rolls off the tongue better than Heracles.
It does, Hercules. Like that dip down, go back up. I absolutely agree. So there's just this mishmash of different timelines and references. It feels very like Aladdin, except in Aladdin, when they would do references from out of time, the genie was the only one who did that.
And I'm pretty sure the genie is just a fourth dimensional creature anyway.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, the genie was just fucking absolutely referencing Stephen King and all of his other stuff and references out of time, even though it's like, this hasn't happened yet, technically speaking. This is like, what, the fucking 1200? I don't know.
Depends on what era of the Fertile Crescent we're in Agrabah. But, yeah, it's just kind of, when Genie does it, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't break the situation. Whereas when Phil makes references to Cleopatra and it's like, no, hold on. Or when Meg
was during the Roman times.
Yeah. Or like, late Roman too. Or when when Megra calls Pegasus a pinto, which is a breed of horse, which I'm pretty sure is only native to North America.
And also comes like after Pegasus, because Pegasus is just the father of all horses.
All of the horses. Every horse.
Yeah, so who knows?
That is one thing I'll say about the the structure of the movie. I don't feel like all of that irreverent comedy and the references don't feel as natural in Hercules as they do in Aladdin.
Yeah. I can get behind that.
While simultaneously, I feel like the movie should have been more like Aladdin. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could have had a fun little like Dionysus character who was a lot like the genie and just fucking making stupid fucking references the whole movie. Mm-hmm. But I also don't know how that would fit into the movie because the movie is still pretty solid.
It's a very solid movie. I think the one reason. So how do I say this in a natural way? I don't buy Hercules and Meg's relationship.
No, neither do I.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
It comes across as it's literally the first girl Hercules has ever seen.
Yes! Like, this and his
Very
mom.
much so an Anakin style.
Oh my god. Oh my
Anakin and
god,
Padme
it is.
style relationship.
Yeah! Because he hangs out with her for, like, what? Like 2 days? And then they don't see each other for, like, who knows how long. And then, oh, she's back and I love her so. What are you talking about?
Like you see her for like 1 or 2 days, and then they're gone, and then they come back, and then they break rules, and then Hercules falls in love with Meg.
Yeah, and we don't even really see. It's like, okay, so Aladdin and Jasmine, right? They meet, and then they don't see each other for a long time, and then
And Jasmine's just not into the relationship at first either. I wouldn't say
No.
she was like.
But when she meets him in the marketplace, when Aladdin rescues her in the marketplace, and because she doesn't know about basic economy, which is weird, but okay, moving on. And
She's a princess. She's had everything paid for her. She's probably never even seen fucking gold like coins or some shit like that. I'm gonna be real with you.
Probably. And then so when Aladdin goes, oh, it's my sister, she needs to go to the doctor. And then Jasmine is instantly like, yeah, I will play along. And they're just vibing on the same page. And then they're jumping through rooftops. And Aladdin's like, oh, I'll jump over and I'll put the like bridge down for her. And she just jumps over because she's Jasmine, no big fucking deal. And they like, you see those sparks of like these two people are like, yeah, you guys are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
That's not there in the River Guardian scene where Hercules saves Megra. She's feisty, don't get me wrong. I like Megra. I'd love to cosplay as Megra, but
she's a great fucking character. But
great fucking character. Good on her for getting a younger guy. I respect that. Hercules like maybe just turned 18 at the end of the movie, but it's like, it's ancient Greece. And Megra's definitely older.
Who knows? Penelope might have been somewhere like 16 to 17.
Yeah. So absolutely no shade on Megra whatsoever. But it is strange that when she shows up again and Hades has sent her to go find Hercules' weaknesses, and she doesn't want to, but as we say, like, oh, yeah, you saved your boyfriend. As we discover, she once saved her boyfriend's life by making a deal with Hades, and then her boyfriend ran off with some other chick. So now she has to do what Hades wants.
Yeah.
And she goes to like, oh, let's go play hooky. And then Hercules agrees and they like go off and like spend the whole day together. We don't see that day they have together. We just smash cut to
the end where they're at
the end and with Hercules talking about it. And all of a sudden, like Meg is in love with him enough that she doesn't want to betray him. She doesn't want to help Hades anymore. I wish we got a whole new world sequence. Like I won't say I'm in love.
I bet it was soundboarded. Or not soundboarded, but like
storyboarded.
Storyboarded, that's what it was. I bet it was storyboarded. And even voice acted for that matter, but I don't think they decided to go with it.
Yeah, maybe not voice acted, but I wouldn't be. Yeah, because it's
they were like looking at it on the story, but it's like, we're already at like an hour and a half. We should probably cut something.
Got to get that tight 90. Yeah, because it's like a Disney movie,
and usually movies actually fucking mattered.
Yeah, and usually I so buy the romances in Disney movies. Like even when I'm like, I don't know, Ariel, you're 16 and maybe you make bad decisions. I still believe that she and Eric are into each other. Like, I'm still here for it. So I would have wished we could have seen the day that Hercules and Meg had together. And even if it's like the whole time, let's make it like, let Meg have like, I won't say I'm in love. over that scene, like she's having all these moments where she realizes, oh, Hercules is really sweet. I actually really like him. Well, what am I feeling? Feelings? No, these aren't feelings.
If it was like that song, like when they were hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Like at the start when he does something relatively sweet, and it's like, oh, what? That's
what?
Huh?
And the Muses are there being like,
that's
hey.
When it fucking kick starts rather than at the end of it.
Yeah. I do think that. DJ, what do you? I feel like I've been talking a lot. I want you. What do you like, dislike, would change about the Hercules movie?
I do like it. I like it a lot. I think the thing, honestly, I change it from the Titans being the enemy, like the big bad, and like just like I would keep like their models and stuff like that, but I wouldn't call them the Titans. I'd call them like Typhon. Just combine them all and have Typhon be the fucking enemy.
Okay.
Like, because Typhon's a raging storm, like the storm of storms, and just fucking. Because even in it was Last Olympian, we have Typhon who like is awoken and fucking raging across, and all the gods can't do anything to stop him until fucking. I think they do eventually stop him, right? I don't actually remember the finer details of how Typhon was stopped. I just know they had difficulties that took it from Washington. He walked from Washington to New York and eventually died.
Yeah, right.
But it's like, I don't know. The Titans were a lot more than just these fucking blubbering elemental
idiots.
Giants.
Yeah.
Like that's also like the weirdest part is that they aren't elements. They weren't elementals in any shape or form. They were just the gods, but like older.
I actually like the Titans being portrayed as like primordial elements, like as elements, like primordial forces of nature, because as you said, like they predate the gods. So I do like the idea that they're more like, oh, everything was chaos and it was a mess because the creatures that controlled this world were just chaos themselves. They were just literally forces of nature that had no order to them yet. And I actually really do like that. And maybe 50% it's because I have fought in the Rock Titan and the Ice Titan in Kingdom Hearts many times. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe because I look at them and be like, I could kick your ass. Maybe.
But yeah, like it's just, and that's just a gripe on not really like the story or anything. Because again, I think it's relatively solid. I think there are things that they can change, and I can't really think of them right now. I just know. Hercules is fun. I do like the portrayal of Hercules. I think it's one of the better ones I've seen.
Yeah, I do. I like this Hercules. I like this naive like farm boy who's like doesn't know his own strength. So this whole thing is very much Superman, though.
No, like this whole like the thing about a lot of Disney movies. Well, this one specifically, it's very tropey.
Yeah,
it's very tropey. Like. Evil guy who lives in underground evil. Great power is good. There's really like
learn how to wield it. We just
got monsters and like the place is a shithole and just everything about it is just like I've seen it before, but I still like it.
Yeah, right. It's not bad that it's tropey. I like the familiar.
It's very nice.
Can we talk about the unclear goal Hercules has been given regarding needing to become a true hero?
Yeah, there's like what does that mean? Like in the movie we see he sacrifices himself to save someone's soul that he doesn't know if he's even going to be able to get. Great. Yes. But he also has like been sacrificing himself a lot to save this whole town. Right?
Why was like saving the kids, not a hero, fighting the Hydra, all of those monsters that attacked the town, like all of it.
Maybe it was because he even had a super strength when he went to go save Meg.
Yeah. Right? Like, yeah, it's like maybe, because when he didn't have a super strength is when he had to go fight the Cyclops.
Yeah, he went to go fucking do that.
Knowing he was going to lose.
Meg got fucking hurt by the Cyclops. So
yeah, for
like in an hour, right? Like
yeah, Hades knows.
I'll take it for 24 hours. Meg won't get hurt. Okay.
Yeah, that was the deal that Hades gave
like an hour in. He's like, I got my strength back. All right, whatever.
Here's the one thing about the about Hades. Like, dude keeps his deals, doesn't break his deals. Yeah.
Though, I don't think that was Hades' idea to give his super strength back.
No, but it's like part of the deal.
I feel like subtext, he swore upon the river of Styx, and Styx was like, oh, you fucking broke your promise. Mm-hmm. So here's, like, there you go. You're done.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, he helped, like, Meg's like, I'll give you my soul if you let my boyfriend come back to life. And he's like, okay, done deal.
Yeah, so, essentially.
Which is, like, not really following the rules, but he sticks to his word, and you gotta respect him for that.
Yeah, that's always the thing about Hades. He always sticks to his fucking
word, even when you wish he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird because the movie is clearly trying to equate it's saying something about, you know, specifically like that American celebrity culture and how it is often like equated with these people are our heroes, even though they have done nothing like truly heroic, right? Like we idolize actors and like sports athletes and like all these people and like make them grand and turn them into like the gods of all our era and like worship them basically, but they're not heroes. And that's what they're saying about Hercules in the movie. It's like when he's like, oh, I'm the most famous person in Greece, I'm an action figure, and Zeus is like, that's being famous isn't the same as being a hero. But what Hercules is famous for is literally saving people and fighting monsters.
Yeah. It's weird. I think maybe because those monsters weren't inherently going for the people of Thebes. They were actually going for Hercules. So I guess in like some weird Greek mythy, twisty bullshit way, he was really saving himself and not the people. So maybe that's what was going on.
But Hercules doesn't know that.
Hercules doesn't know that. But again, this is also Greek mythology where everything is super roundabout.
I don't know. Because I guess part of it could be like maybe because he wasn't doing it for selfless heroic reasons. Like he was only going out and like fighting these monsters because he wanted to get back to Mount Olympus.
Yeah, and then when he like, oh, I can die, like I can actually die doing this. I don't care.
Yeah, so it's like it's like, oh, but he would never get hurt anyway. He's Hercules, like so it doesn't matter. And then at the end of the movie, he goes and saves Meg, and like, oh, you're willing to sacrifice your life for this woman. That's a true hero. But like, once again, that's a kind of not a completely selfless thing because he wants to save Meg because he loves her, and that is not a bad thing. We just talked about like Orpheus and Eurydice not long ago. He wants to save her because he loves her.
Yeah.
But that's not what makes that more selfless, more heroic than Hercules going to fight the Cyclops when he has no super strength anymore.
Yeah, when he's like, I gotta do it. They're counting on me. What? The Cyclops very well could have just fucking grabbed him and just fucking, smashed him against a fucking floor, which he did. And because you know how cartoon, he's not dead. But he should have been several times over.
There's one point when Megra goes and she gets Phil and brings him back, and he's running up. He's like, "Oh, come on, you can get this guy." And he's like getting Hercules, like he's on the ground, and Phil's helping him up. Hercules is like bleeding from the corner of his mouth in that one shot, and then the next shot, the blood is gone. But I'm like, is that the first time I've seen a Disney hero bleed?
Probably.
I can't think.
I didn't even notice that.
It's just it's a little trickle of blood to show like how badly he's beaten up, and it's gone in the next scene. But no, that's blood. I don't think we've ever seen a Disney hero bleed like that before, even a little bit.
I think they did that and like, maybe we shouldn't, and then they just didn't go over and edit it.
Just one shot for the emphasis, and we don't keep showing that. Don't bother the censors. But so it's the true hero thing. It's like, oh, you have to. Zeus is like, I can't tell you what it means. You have to discover it for yourself. I don't think Zeus knows what it means.
Yeah, I mean, Zeus doesn't know what a lot of things mean.
This is true.
Another thing. I don't like how they portrayed the Fates as evil.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Go on. Yes.
Like it's weird. Like I get it. The Fates are like maybe an evil concept, I guess. Like they can be, but then like they're also what were they called? The Hate Sisters or whatever the fuck?
Gray Sisters.
Gray Sisters. I always forget. But then they like combine them into the Gray Sisters, and like, but the Fates aren't inherently evil.
Mm-mm.
They're just doing their job.
Yeah. No, that's something I wrote down where, like, as we've discussed, like, Hades is not an inherently evil character. His intentions and the role he plays in the universe is not inherently bad, but it is often cast as such because he is associated with death. And I think the Fates get that same treatment here because they are associated with ending the life of the human. And I am disappointed that the cutting the thread of life was the part that was so heavily focused on, and not the weaving the threads of fate. Like,
it's yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have done something cool with the tapestry of Hercules. Like they could have done like something really cool about it, and like have like the last panel of his tapestry be him like reaching into the fucking green pool, and like just like, you know, in the classic Disney style of like, oh, this is what this would look like if it was in like a Greek picture.
Yeah,
because we see that a lot, like throughout the movie, in fact. Maybe not like tapestries, but like on the clay pots that people were making and shit like that. Like we could have gotten some cool stylized picture, and like as they were like setting up to cut the string, like at the end of the loom, and then it, like the whole banner just fucking lights up in gold.
It's gold, yes.
That could have been really dope.
That would have been really cool. Yeah, and yeah, because it's yeah. I don't mind the fact that they blended them with the Grey Sisters. I think it's like the comedic effect of the eyeball and how like creepy it is. But I think they did that specifically because the Fates are meant to be interpreted as bad, because they take this like perverse joy in like killing and ending a human life, which I'm not saying you can't have that, where you could have this like vaguely like unsettling notion is like they're weaving and then they get it, and it's just like this absolute like apathy of the snip, and then we move to the next one. And you can have that as and being like kind of scary without them being portrayed as evil.
And then like another thing was they're shocked when Hercules becomes immortal, when, you know, they see it. They see fate.
They should know it's going to happen. Like there's a thread, cut, we did, like it would be, like they're going to cut it, and they
just don't.
Yeah, or like maybe like Hades is there and he's like looking and seeing, like waiting, and he just sees them like going to cut it, and then they like stop and they're just waiting. He's like, what are you doing? Cut it already. And then the thing turns gold.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Like,
and they just
and
turn
they go back to
it's not his
weaving.
time. And then it fucking turns gold, and he's like, what?
Yeah, because they do the scissors thing for like, oh, the drama, and it'd be like, exactly, if they knew he was going to be a god, they wouldn't.
Bitch.
Yeah, they wouldn't reach for the scissors. They would just keep weaving the loom, and Hades being like, ladies, do you want these? Do you want mine? Do you want my scissors, ladies? And like trying to get them like,
here's
why
some
aren't
fire
you?
scissors? It'll burn the whole fucking tapestry.
Yeah. And they're like, it's not his time yet. He's literally a skeleton, and then it just, the gold rushes up and everything. And that would have been way
that would have
cooler.
been sick.
Man, I like that a lot. Can I share the note I had for the movie, giving kind of that depth on it as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so circling back to the whole like, what does Hercules have to do to be a hero? Why is literally fighting monsters and saving people not heroic enough? I think if they were gonna equate that whole like celebrity culture and like that the idea of like celebrity heroes with the Hercules myth, what if when he lands in Thebes, he does fight the Hydra, right? He does save those kids. And then someone in Thebes is like, hey kid, I love your act. I love what this is. I can make you a star. I can make you a hero to all of Greece. And so it's all performative. Like it's all arranged, right? Like none of like it's not like Hades throwing these monsters at Hercules. It's just this guy who arranges all these battles and arranges all these things, like knowing full well, like, oh yeah, the Minotaur hadn't eaten in days. He was already weak. Or like the Gorgon.
Just like absolutely fucking Captain America him.
Yes, it's the beginning of Captain America, where he's just like, it's all famous, and then it all starts like, Hercules kind of feels bad, but it all starts to like get to his head, and he's like, oh, hey, I am this guy. I think the thing is like, Phil wouldn't have like been into that because he wants to train heroes, but at the same time, Phil claims to have trained Perseus and didn't recognize the fucking Hydra when it showed up, so I don't know if Phil's actually telling us the truth here. But yeah, I think if you wanted to make this statement of like, oh, like celebrities are not true heroes, what they do is not truly heroic, then you gotta you can't let Hercules be a hero.
Yeah, you gotta make it fake.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Like, and not to say like, so earlier I mentioned like athletes and stuff, not to say like what they do is fake. Like, no, like athletes work hard, actors work hard for their thing. Like, it's not a complete 1-to-1, but it just, I was watching it and I'm like, he fought the Hydra. He's doing all these things. You're putting him through the labors. He fought the Nema lion. Like, these are all things that...
He fought a Gorgon. He fought so many things that Hades was sending to kill him.
Yes! And clearly not having a problem causing a bunch of damage. Like, the Hydra was ready, when it thought it had killed Hercules, was super ready to go eat all the spectators.
Yeah.
So, even if Hades sent them to kill Hercules, by defeating him, Hercules was still protecting people.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. It's just... But, again... Greek mythology, roundabout way of things, and also Disney wanting a story.
Yeah, but you could have that story. I think if you had the none of it's real, and Hercules has to learn it means to be a true hero. When like maybe he gives up his power to like maybe it's Hades is the big bad, maybe it's someone else. He gives up his super strength, and then the Cyclops comes to attack, and they're like, "Oh, Hercules, you have to go." He's like, "If I go now, they're gonna think I'm a fake." Like, but he realizes he has to because there's no one else. Even though he doesn't have his strength, he goes anyway. And then maybe like Meg gets hurt, he gets his powers back, he goes up to the Olympus because he's like, well, I have to say, like, this is my family. And so maybe it's not just him sacrificing himself for Meg. Maybe it's all the things he did in that day is what makes him a true hero, because he was no longer like acting like to be a hero. He was just like, I have to do the right thing. Or like maybe like Meg tries to stop him. You can't go to Olympus. Like Hades is up there. Like you'll die. You can't stand against a god. He's like, but there's no one left. It has to be me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because saving Mount Olympus feels pretty goddamn heroic.
I mean, they did offer Percy immortality when he did it.
Yeah, exactly. Are we going to say Percy Jackson is more of a true hero than Hercules? Absolutely, we will.
100%.
Every damn day we will.
Yeah, that guy I would trust with just about any fight in the fucking Greek book.
He's got this. We don't have to worry about him.
And honestly, he fought every fight in the Greek book.
He did.
Just
so did Hercules.
Fight in that fucking Greek book. Like
Disney Hercules, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
But yeah, I think it's when it's interesting thinking back on like people who are like, oh, it's not accurate. The Disney Hercules isn't accurate. They so often are pointing to the fact that Hercules, he didn't kill the Gorgon, he didn't fight the Hydra, he didn't do this. His mother isn't Hera, which, just a quick aside, like, his foster parents, what is her name? His dad is, Amphitryon, and his mother is, like, Alcmene. That's, like, Alcmene is the name of Hercules' mortal mother, and her husband in the actual myth. And so they're his foster parents in the Disney movie, which is very Disney-fied. But anyway, so that they'll often like talk about like the things about the myth specifically that are not accurate.
Yeah.
Which is like whatever. And I think they miss the overarching point of like what is actually different inherently about Disney's Hercules compared to like the original Greek myth is that killing monsters alone is what makes Hercules a hero in Greek mythology. Yeah. He's kind of an asshole, like a straight up, even
100%. Like the guy's not fucking humble at all.
No, he brags, he gets drunk, he kills people when they just make him mad, even if they're not bad. Yeah, the thing with his wife and his kids, that was Hera. So,
yeah,
that's a whole other thing. But he's just kind of a dick.
And it's like, why are people getting mad about Hercules being so inaccurate when Aladdin's not really true to the original Aladdin story? Neither is The Little Mermaid or Snow White or Cinderella or just about fucking any story that has made Disney big that is based off of something. They're absolutely not like true to the original story. Hell, Frozen, one of the most recent fucking things that is not at all true to the Snow Queen.
No, it's not. And the reason for that is because Disney is retelling these stories that were created in the past to be told for a different reason. And when like Disney as a company or anybody retells one of those stories today, they are telling it now for a different reason. And I think the Hercules movie is a really good example of that because like, yeah, Greek Hercules is a dick, but everybody considered him a hero in that time, the greatest of all the heroes because he did all the monster killing. Never mind that he was an asshole. Anyway, my point being, in Disney's Hercules, what it means to be a true hero is very different in today's culture than what it was in ancient Greece, because the point of Hercules, what Zeus says, it's like it's not measured by his strength, but the strength of his heart. What makes Hercules a true hero is that he was willing to do the right thing for nothing in return. Like, he was only fighting those monsters because he wanted to get to Olympus. He was only fighting the Cyclops at the end because he was mad. And he's like, oh, Meg is like, you could die. Oh, there are worse things. Which, like, drama king, just like your goddamn dad. Good for you, Hercules.
Yeah.
But when he saves Meg, it's because he loves her. But, like, if he's going to die and stay in the underworld, he won't be able to stay with her. But Meg will be safe, and that is enough. And that's not what the OG Greek myth is about. That's not what made someone a hero in Greek mythology. Greek heroes they're just physically strong and they are athletically capable. They're powerful. They have might, but some
of them do have a good heart, which is great.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
That's not a factor. Like if you look at like our comic book heroes, like Superman, right? Yeah, Superman, which I think is a great comparison because like, God, this movie is so much like the Superman story.
Yeah.
Like,
again, it's a very tropey story.
But even like specifically, it's like, oh, here's this great being from another world raised by foster parents, but has amazing strength and just doesn't know how to control it, and then goes to this other place when he discovers he is from another world and must learn to be a hero and fight evil and like has these villains that stand against him.
Yeah.
This is Superman. But what makes Superman a hero? And people say he's boring, right? Oh, he has all of these powers and nothing is a challenge, so Superman is boring. Which is like the most like. If
you're just gonna go off of that, then Goku's boring.
Yes, exactly. Like also, like I regret the voice I just did because it sounded very like mocking like women. I was mocking everybody. I will also do this. Oh, Superman's so boring. He's got all these powers. Batman's so much more edgy. So everybody is wrong when they say this. Everybody is wrong. Because the Superman stories, he's got all these powers and they're fun to watch. Like, that's what makes him, like, fun to see him do things. But, like, Superman's also a good person. Like, he's Clark Kent.
Yeah. Like, Superman has a good heart in him. Yeah. Like, yeah, sure, he's strong as shit, so we know he'll win most battles. But, like, he's got a good heart. And, like, the only reason... The thing about it, the injustice... timeline is pretty bad though.
Go on.
I don't know. I just recently saw a clip about it where it's like, and this was just in the Injustice. I think it was Injustice 2 game or something like that. And it was like, those interactions at the start of the fight, and it was Cyborg. Is there a line that you won't cross? And then Superman's like, I won't kill kids. But then it jump cuts to him burning holes into Shazam's face with his laser eyes. And then jump cuts back to Cyber. It's like, that didn't stop you with Shazam. I'm like, holy fuck, Superman. Jesus Christ, are you shitting me?
Alternate timelines don't count in this conversation and have no bearing in this conversation. The jury will disregard.
The Injustice timeline is rough.
Yeah.
I think there's a MOBA that goes for that timeline.
Probably.
I think it's DC Universe Online, and like the main story is that timeline. And like Lex Luthor comes back from the future to be like, hey, you gotta stop me.
No, don't let me do this. Oh my God. Oh my God. I fucked
because
up.
It results in Joker killing Lois Lane and Superman going nuts. I barely had time to build this time machine. You need to stop this, Superman. It's like, what are you talking about?
Actually, Lex Luthor is a great point in regards to like Superman having all these powers, but his greatest like villain is like, he's like fought Lex Luthor, yeah, but like Lex Luthor's power isn't from like crazy chaos like Joker or like strength like Black Adam or some shit like that, or like the power like Sinestro. he just has a lot of like power politically, right? He's like been wealth and stuff. And that's the kind of power that Superman can't beat by punching or by like freeze breathing or like laser vision. Like that's stuff that like that's problems that are inherent in the system, and that kind of thing can really grate on you if you don't have like the strong enough like sense of will to keep fighting against it.
Yeah.
Superman's not boring. Man of Steel's just a bad movie.
It's true. Very true. I saw a fun little video essay on why fly fighting, like fighting while flying, isn't really fun. And it's because it's not grounded in reality.
Oh, you mean fun to watch?
Well, like, it's fun to watch, sure, but it's not like we don't see the consequences of the fight while the fight is happening, right? Like we see these guys fly through building and get cars chucked at them and all this other shit, but they're fine all the way up until they hit the ground.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, whenever they're in the air, they always will keep coming back until someone gets thrown into the ground, which doesn't feel like it should be it. Like eventually you're going to take a punch that you're just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to sit down on this gargoyle for a bit. Does anybody have some orange slices?
Got an aspirin, maybe.
Oh, that stings. Ah.
Just a fucking liver blow.
Oh no.
Oh, I gotta lie down. Hold on a second. Oh.
I'm just thinking of the scene at the end of Shazam with Billy and the bad guy fighting in the air. But they're yelling at each other, and the villain's like monologuing, and Billy's like, I can't hear.
You're so far away. I can't hear you.
Because he doesn't have super hearing. I actually really like Shazam.
No, yeah. And like in the video essay, it did like show Shazam as a culprit of it, which like...
Oh, yeah, that's why I thought of it. That's the one I thought of when you said fly fighting.
It showed Shazam, Man of Steel, and like an older Superman book, and like a bunch of other ones, but those were like the two main culprits because like they're the most recent ones. And then like it like drew comparison to Thor and Iron Man fighting. And they were like, these are both heroes. They can both fly, but instead they fight on the ground. And they fucking go at it on the ground. And we can see that like Iron Man is getting like fucking hit by this Mjolnir and going flying. And we can tell that it's hurt. But then he gets hit by a lightning bolt and his power's at 4,000% capacity. And he's like, oh, how about that?
How about that?
Anyway,
back
to Hercules. Sorry about that tangent.
I think with the tangent that maybe we are done talking about Hercules.
Yeah.
DJ, do you have any closing thoughts? Oh, I have a note. Actually, I want to talk about when Hercules is going on and on about like after he and Meg go on their like they play hooky together and like Hercules is totally head over heels. He's talking about how much he loves her. He says she's more beautiful than Aphrodite. And I was watching this with Kate, and we both just like reeled back like, whoa, you don't just say shit like that.
No, that is something that like Aphrodite will turn Meg into a fucking hag.
Like, oh, you think.
Specifically Meg. It won't even affect Hercules, but.
Usually. Yeah, exactly. We see that shit in Lore Olympus.
Yeah.
Persephone didn't do anything.
Persephone did not do anything. And we're just put in the back of fucking 80s car.
Just to try to fuck with 80s. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, come on, man. That's not cool.
Come on, Aphrodite. Like, if you're gonna punish someone, at least you find the right target. And you could definitely punish Hercules. He's a nobody.
In that case, while it inherently embarrassed Persephone, it also embarrassed Hades.
Everything went wrong. Yes, so that one's fine. But yeah, we were just like, whoa, Hercules, you can't say shit like that, man.
Hercules, you actually haven't seen Aphrodite. Maybe you remember her at your birthday party when you were 0. Maybe. But you have not seen Aphrodite.
No, you haven't. We see her several times, and once she makes out with a satyr, and that's like, okay. I mean, it's Aphrodite.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would agree with Hercules in the context of the film. I thought Aphrodite was okay.
She's fine. In the context of the film, yeah, it's not the best design.
Not the best representation of Aphrodite.
No, I liked her in the animated series.
I bet
she appears a couple times. I think she's much better. But here's the thing, like what I noticed, no goddesses except for Hera have any lines, and I'm including when they're in battle and the gods are just like shouting different things while they're fighting the Titans.
Yeah.
Only the gods speak. You don't hear Artemis, you don't hear Demeter, you don't hear Aphrodite. None of the goddesses speak
Isn't it just
except for
Zeus
Hera.
and Hermes though?
Ares shouts something, Apollo shouts something.
Okay.
I had the closed captions on.
That's fair. Then yeah, okay. I thought it was just like Zeus and Hermes fucking shouting, and Hermes already had like the lines previously in the film, so
Yeah,
you
no.
know.
Ares calls like one of the Titans a great windbag, and I think Apollo goes down. Apollo is way too buff in this movie. Like, dude's too buff. We all
Dude
know
can be
Apollo
chiseled, right? But
he can be chiseled
doesn't need to
and
be
leaf.
bulky.
Yeah,
He doesn't need to be built. He can be
He's
chiseled.
built, and I'm like, I don't know about you, but you're not any sun god I recognize.
No sun god I've seen, except
Don't
for
know who-
maybe Capri. He's the fucking biggest sun god I've seen, and he's just a big ass beetle.
Oh, Capri from okay.
Yeah, from Egyptian mythology. He's just a big ass beetle. He's the one that's built. Ra, even the iterations I've seen of Ra, he's still again, gods are just like relatively chiseled, but they're not like fucking huge unless they're like war gods and Zeus.
Yeah.
Do you think Hades had a dad bod in that film? Or do you think he was also built?
I think Hades had an uncle bod, like your uncle who used to be like, he did football in high school, and he did keep working out, not like religiously though, and he runs somewhat often. So he's like
relatively toned, but he doesn't have like that 6-pack ab.
But it's weird. It's like a weird kind of tone where it's like, are you getting enough like protein to establish this? Like but he still drinks a lot. So it's just proportionally like a little uncomfortable. Once you all went to the water park together and you saw him in the swim trunks and you're just like, why are your ribs doing that? That's what I think Hades has a bod.
That's fair.
That's what I think. I don't think Hades is a dad bod. He's got like a vaguely unhealthy uncle bod.
Yeah.
Like you run, but not often
Sure,
enough.
you got like big arms too, but like
weird. He also doesn't glow. So
yeah,
he's probably not getting enough vitamin D.
He lives underground.
You definitely, yeah, lives underground. Obviously, yes.
Like,
that was silly of me.
Every time we see him in the fucking overworld, he's got fucking a thing over. So.
Do you think the movie would have been stronger if Hades wasn't the villain? Like, I'm not saying if it was more like Greek mythology. I like most of the changes they make. I think Hades as the villain is the one that feels lazy to me.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of like who's a big name in Greek that would be like noticeable for people who would also be a villain doing all this for Hercules.
That's a good point, because like as we said earlier, they chose Hercules and not Heracles because it was the most, like the Roman version is just more well known among specifically American audiences.
Yeah.
So,
because I'm pretty sure like before the Hercules that we know, we had like iterations of Hercules. Of like movies, like old style movies, probably. Because I'm pretty
like
sure
Hercules
there's
and
a couple
Xena,
of, like black and white. Yeah, it's a couple of like black and white films, or just like 80s, 70s films of Hercules.
Yeah, we had like Attack of the Titans, that like stop motion. No, that's like one of the early.
I thought that was of the Argonauts.
It was of the Argonauts. Yeah, but it's yeah. No, it is of the Argonauts, but it still has like Greek gods in it. Where was Athena?
Athena?
Like we see her, but like why
It was the 90s.
Why didn't they being like Zeus and the gods, when they find Hercules, right?
Yeah.
They find him. No one tries to find out how this happened.
Yeah, that was again
That's
a weird thing. That, like, why did he become fucking a baby? Like a human mortal baby. Like this is weird.
Like they can't just go bring him back to Olympus because he's mortal now and he can't go there.
Even though it is actually in Greek mythology, they can just give people divinity and immortality.
Yeah, you don't have to earn it. They can just give that to you.
They can just absolutely fucking give it to you. It's like, oh, there you go. You're immortal. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever.
Live the rest of your eons. I don't know.
Usually you'd have to do something that kind of impresses the god, but I think if you were the god's kid and you got kidnapped, they could just make you... Oh, where does Hades get that?
He just has a vial of it.
The anti-immortality vial. Where the fuck is that from?
Who knows? Like,
Like, not from mythology.
And why didn't he
I mean,
just
like,
try
where
to
does
trick
he get it?
Hercules into drinking more of it to get rid of his super strength? Like, he easily could have had, like, the kids come up to Hercules after a fight holding a fucking cup, like the Hercules cup.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's a drink, mister. I was like,
Thanks,
I remember you kids. You know, and then fucking
And then drop dead.
doesn't have drop dead, doesn't have super strength anymore. Like, Hades' plan is just flawed.
Hades' plan is poor, I think. I think it's poor. What do you think of the Fates prophecy in terms of prophecy styles that we're familiar with?
Oh man, I'd have to see it again. Hold on.
You want to pull it? Okay.
All right. 4 words in, it's already bad. In 18 years precisely.
Yeah.
They are not fucking precise about damn near anything. It's way too like accurate and like dead on about everything. It rhymes though.
It does rhyme. I do like the rhyming.
It's a little too precise.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just weirdly like checklist.
I think it's a little too precise in a lot of things, but then like saying if Hercules should fight, you will fail, which doesn't mean a lot either. Like that's nice and vague. Sure, it's like, oh yeah, Hercules, but it should have been like, should the son of Zeus fight, you will fail. I think that could have been fun.
Yeah, and he misinterprets. Hey, and now just a side tangent, we'll circle back. Is Hercules the only kid of Zeus and Hera's in this story?
Hephaestus is there.
Yeah. Like Hephaestus is there, and if Zeus isn't cheating on his wife, Artemis and Apollo are there. Athena is there.
I'd imagine they're all
Ares is there.
In terms of this movie and this world, they're all just children of Hera.
Okay.
But it's like that's why I say son of Zeus. That would leave it nice and vague. It could be Ares.
Yeah.
It could be Hercules.
It's a child of Zeus, even.
Yeah, child of Zeus would even fucking leave it even more vague.
Almost any of the Olympians at that point.
Yeah, and then like, but I mean, you know, it fucking the Disney movie got to make it a little more precise. But like
for the audience, yeah,
to
the
fight,
kids
could
need to
have meant like
understand
anything. Sure, it was like, yeah, he's got to fight as a god, and that's what Hades took it as, and so he tried to stop it, and that's why he failed.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think it would have been better if it was more vague and Hades makes it happen, because like that's the great, like the Greek tragedies, like that's the great Greek stories where like someone hears a prophecy and they, by trying to avoid it, they make it happen, and that the only reason it happened is because they tried to avoid it. But in this case, if Hades had done nothing, Hercules would have been on Mount Olympus and would have fought. And
but yeah. They should have left that prophecy a little more vague. Definitely not like 18 years.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Because Hades already knows the planets are aligning. Just same with the planets.
Knows, like, he already has the date, and that's why he's like, okay, whatever, I fucking know this. I mean, other than that, it's a relatively good prophecy compared.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe not a great Greek prophecy, but if I got that prophecy, I'd be super appreciative. Thank you for being clear. I love it. I know exactly what I got to do now.
Yeah. Which is why Hades goes and tries to kill Hercules. Which is like, he should have like followed up on pain and panic.
Well, they lied. And the problem is that he lied. Them.
I just mean like, I'm pretty sure he sent them on other tasks and they fucked up before.
They gotta, right? They seem very incompetent. Well, okay. He did send them to go incapacitate Pegasus, and they succeeded at that.
Yeah, they
did.
Like
gangbusters. He sent them to go lure Hercules into the Hydra fight, and they succeeded with that, like, stellar. So, like, maybe they're just, like, a little spazzy, but actually very competent, and this, like, one time they drop the ball, but Hades tends to fly off the handle when he gets bad news, and they knew, like, if we tell him, he's gonna kill us, which is, like, always bad in leadership. If you punish whenever you get bad news, no one's gonna tell you bad news, and then you can't deal with your mortal enemy when he's a baby.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I actually, maybe I owe Pain and Panic an apology for my earlier comment about them being competent.
Started this video. Started this podcast.
Yeah. I think I would like to formally apologize.
I won't. They fucked up killing a baby.
They did fuck up killing a baby. This is true.
Granted, baby had super strength, but baby had super strength.
Davis, any final thoughts on Disney's Hercules?
Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
You should check it out. Yeah, it's super fun. Who do you think, if Disney was going to do, not a remake, let's say they were going to revisit the Greek experience, who do you think, what story do you think would make a good, well, so as I say this, I did just realize that Disney did buy the rights to do the Percy Jackson series as a TV show, so I guess that is the answer.
Yeah, they're visiting Percy Jackson, which is so much fun.
That's gonna be
I'm so excited about that.
We're definitely gonna have to talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, 100%.
At great length.
I'm absolutely gonna sit down and fucking talk about it. We could even do. Okay.
Darren,
you got any of the final thoughts on the Hercules movie?
Go the Distance was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Song, but lost to My Heart Will Go On from Titanic.
Bullshit. Anyway. I'm sorry. Go the Distance is way better, more like emotionally jarring song than My Heart Will Go On. From
Titanic won everything that year, so you know.
Yeah.
I guess that's just one thing I looking at facts about
James
the Hercules
Cameron comes
movie.
out with a movie, it's just going to win a good amount of awards. Let's be real here.
Yeah, that's usually how it plays out. My final thought is I like the Hercules movie. I do. I know it's not the best Disney movie. I know it's kind of like one of the movies that were like officially ending the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah.
And no, it's not even kind of accurate to Greek mythology. If you are taking a class about the classics.
Kinda accurate. Greek mythology. It's not remotely accurate.
It's not.
It's kinda accurate.
It's not. And if this is like, if you have to like critically analyze the Greek myths in context of ancient Greek culture and what that represented, then it's not going to be a good movie to do that. But I think it's a great movie in that it retells a myth in a different way, and I think it really highlights that, like, it's being told for American audiences in the 90s, and it does that really fucking well.
Yeah.
And if you ever have to deal with a snotty 18-year-old saying rude things about the sweater you're about to buy, I don't know. You have my permission to tell them to fuck off. No, you shouldn't. That's rude.
No,
be the
tell
bigger
them to fuck
person.
off.
Just
Don't be the bigger person. I'm
No.
tired. I've been the bigger person all my life. I'm tired of it. All right. Tell them to fuck off.
Okay, DJ gives you permission to tell them to fuck off. I say just keep your mouth shut until they say something wrong.
Punish the boat rocker. Don't punish the boat stabilizer. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying.
Someone's being a dick and people get onto you for being a dick back. Come
Oh.
on.
Okay. I was going to say that if they're being an asshole, just wait until they say something factually incorrect so you can just prove that you know more than them.
I know, right?
Because that was my favorite
That also
way.
feels really good.
Yep, I did that to that kid a couple, which is like, I'm not trying to, but like, she was really rude. And a couple of times I had to be like, Ron Swanson, I know more than you. I did it in Hercules, and then I did get to do it in Harry Potter, which
Hell
is like
yeah.
her one thing. So it's like, I know more than you. Stop talking. So
Yeah. Hey, can I help? I know more than you.
I know more than you. Okay. But like, don't say that to an actual retail employee.
No,
They're just doing their
it's-
job. Just be like,
it's
oh, thank you,
kinda
I've
a
got
dick
it.
thing. Just
Yeah.
be like, oh no, it's fine. I don't need your help.
I was like, okay, well, let me know.
Yeah, essentially. Like, don't be mean to the retail employers or employees. They're just doing their job.
Yeah.
They're literally told that if you don't go up to a customer, you will get like
get in trouble.
enough. You will get fucking point stocked. So, or like if a customer looks lost and like or looks
go
like they
check on
need
them.
help, go up to them and talk to them.
Just ask.
And so,
And if you're checking out at a register and they ask for your phone number, don't be a dick to them or be like, you don't need that. Because like, no, we don't want to ask for your phone number or try to sign you up for the loyalty.
Again,
but if
we're
I
fucking
don't,
told to
my
do it.
manager's going to cut my hours. So just be like, oh, no, thank you. I understand. I just don't feel comfortable with that. That's fine. Use your words. I'm a person. I understand. I don't want to ask you either. I just want to get paid.
yeah.
This has been Podcast of Poseidon's Remyth. Be nice
Remyth.
to Retail Employees Corner.
Just do it.
do it.
And this has been Podcast of Poseidon's Remyth on Hercules.
Our very first one.
Heck yeah. We should have done it earlier, but you know,
But we're going to do one of these every month now.
every month.
DJ, what do you want to do next month?
I was thinking we could, man, I don't even know. I'll have to think about it.
Okay. I thought we could tease it now, but that's fine.
Yeah, maybe it'll be video game related. I don't know.
I would have to play that.
Yeah, you would.
Oh, no. I have no time for that. We should end this
Is it
episode. I
really
think
the
we should
first-
definitely get out of the episode. We're trapped
Sure,
here.
yeah, right. We just keep bringing up shit. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Holy shit.
Yep. For
Incredible. $10 a month.
You just
You can
make...
do Netflix with that. Like, come on.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. We hope you like this episode. If you have any suggestions, anything you would want to hear us do a Remyth episode on, absolutely send us an email. PoseidonPod@gmail.com. We would love to take some recommendations.
Yes, we will. And we will take them into account, and we may even have a poll for you guys. Who knows?
Yeah,
if we get enough. If we get enough. Right now we have one tier, one $10 patron. And we appreciate you so much.
Timothy O'Connor, this episode was literally for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thanks for listening. And should we have a sign off?
Do it. I don't know. We don't have a sign off for Bunker 9.
No, but that's a bonus episode. Things are very like Calvin Ball.
That's fair.
This is like a Remyth episode. I feel like it should be like a structured episode, but about something different.
Okay.
Do you want to do the sign off for the Remyth episode, DJ?
I don't even know what should we do for the sign off.
It's in the topic. Stay mythic.
Stay mythic.
Actually, so now that I think about it, stay legendary would have been a better thing to say.
I still even think that's pretty cringe. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't be like Zeus is pretty cringy.
Yeah, it's cringy, but it's a little, I don't know, it's on theme.
It's on thing.
It's relatively on theme, and it was fun. It was like an in-the-moment thing.
I was very proud of myself. Okay, we'll think of something to sign these off on.
Yeah. We could record it later. Just layer it on.
Bye.
Bye.